perhaps early on we might dip into random dungeons, but we're off already.
Looks like just a little bit of love there in the Sanctuary. All 4 runners starting right in Sanctuary here. I'm kind of curious to see if we're going to see any early Houlihan plays, or if they're all going to start their routing immediately.
And that's going to be interesting. Looks like everybody's going to go for standard traditional routing here in the beginning. We got a map check from Old Man Sunshine that tells us nothing right now.
It told us he's in the light world.
I mean, that is very true, actually.
And just some blue rupees there for the tree pole. And the crab, it looks like, is giving off single rupees. A little bit of rage there from Goomba about the single rupee.
Okay, so we got a 1 map on Lumberjack Ledge. We're not going to go for that one. Going to be quite easy to figure out which dungeon is that map is for if we find the other.
And we see Old Man Sunshine actually skipped the ledge check and went straight into Lost Woods, so he doesn't know that's a map yet.
Yeah, and it looks like Old Man Sunshine and our runner's going to skip that bug now today.
Looks like 50 rupees there in the Thieves' Hideout, but apparently Lin did want the swag net. Ooh, bomb pull. That's going to be helpful when he goes to Kakariko Village.
And that is going to be one of those plays that Lin is not going to save and quit here in the beginning.
And Zillernep headed straight into Kak Village here. Looks like probably going to buy bombs.
And race game here just only got 5 rupees today, so we're not going to do a race game for 5 rupees.
And 20 in the library, so looks like nothing over in that area yet. But now we're going to get our first look at Blind's Hut here from Lin. And just some arrows in the tavern.
So a little bit of rupees here and a shield in the Blind's Hideout so far, and we get got the red boomerang.
Yep, the red boomerang, which a lot of runners consider the inferior boomerang due to the fact that it takes longer to return to you and it causes lag in your game, actually.
So unless the bottle vendor and the well here got good items, it looks pretty dry so far.
Desert Compass. Ice Palace map, and there's our Moon Pearl. There we go. So that gets us one step closer to Dark World.
One step closer to Dark World, one step closer to check that map or not. And there's a fire rod as well.
Now that does give them some logical darkroom access. Doesn't give them full clear of Eastern, but it does let them get to the boss once they get the bow.
So a fire rod, a moon pearl, and one map. That's pretty empty for being Kakariko.
So the question is it going to be in Mini Moldorm, over in the eastern area with Shish Kebab, or are we going to see it in a one-off?
That is one good question.
I guess like American TV, we should quote, "Stay tuned to find out." Sunshine now picking up his fire rod too. I'm kind of curious to see where our runners are going to take this fire rod. If they're going to go for the eastern, or if they're going to go down to Mini Moldorm here.
Looks like Linlin is actually going to pull that. At least checking Uncle might go and do all of escape, depending on what Linlin will find up here.
I always forget about escape. Even in my own seeds, I forget about escape.
It's just one of those boring places you don't want to go to early on. Got another map here to Turtle Rock in Dam area.
And Uncle giving us his entire life.
Lifting those pots, getting that extra magic. I think this is actually getting in the escape parts here for Lilin.
And we see Goomba here now opening up Mini Moldorm. Let's see, he's got 5 items in here. Let's see what he can pull. Blue mail. There's first glove. That's another step towards it. And first sword.
That's a pretty good Mini Moldorm cave since Kakariko was really empty.
Half magic on Desert Ledge. Interesting. I wonder if we're going to see any of our runners actually go for that.
Half magic's just one of those good items that you can. I think they might go for it depending on if you need to actually do anything in that area later on.
Alright, we're going to see Agina here. Let's see what Agina's hiding in his back room. And it's a map to Hyrule Castle.
The one map you don't want to find. Ooh, you got the cape here in escape area.
Yes, I wonder if that's going to come in useful later for the bumper cave.
It could come way earlier if this is in Agazid.
That's also true. It could be their logical Dark World axe.
Old Man Sunshine going to do Mini Moldorm cave here with the bombs, so a little bit harder, I would say, depending on how the Moldorms are actually giving the pattern, but it looks like pretty fast.
And Lin going the front way through back of escape, opting to not to wait and come back with a glove from the other side.
If there is an item here, this is going to be good for Linlin. Might just be the small key, but then you can just go back, so it's just one of those gambles you'll do.
Oh, absolutely. We see Old Man Sunshine now checking Ice Rod Cave as well, so he's really just kind of taking out all the checks systematically rather than leaving any of the one-offs. He does need to be careful here. Those crabs do hurt.
Because there was an item in Dark Cross, full heart container.
And a full heart container also in Ice Rod Cave.
So we got Sarashala and we got Eastern Palace with, in logic of course, with the potential items.
Also back of escape because of
escape.
Glove. Yeah.
And back of escape from Old Sunshine. Hammer. We got Dark
Hammer,
World
that's
access.
Dark World, yep. Bloomerang, and there's his key. So we do have Dark World access now.
And that also puts that Aga 1 is dead since we found the hammer.
Yep.
And Old Man Sunshine is not going to waste any time. We're going to get a Hype Cave check here coming up. Do you think Hype Cave is going to be hyped today?
No, I'm guessing it's going to be Gripe Cave, not Hype Cave.
Ooh, we got a pendant in Turtle Rock and a crystal in Ice Palace.
I'm sure the runners are not happy to see that pendant in Turtle Rock because there's actually a lot of items in Turtle Rock. And knowing you don't have to do it for completion really can get frustrating.
Yeah, we're starting off with a piece of heart here in Hype Cave. We got a Quake Medallion. 20 rupees, 20 rupees, and another 20 rupees.
Well, 2 out of 10 for the Quake Medallion, I guess. Possibly less if they don't need it.
I guess the only good thing with all those big 20s is that at least Old Man Sunshine has the rupees to go in and check a pot now if he wants to.
Very true. And he does have the hammer to get through most of it.
Looks like Lin is actually farming for rupees down here.
I wonder if Linlin's going to try and do like a Zora check here. We saw just the big 20 there on Pyramid Ledge.
We're getting all the big 20s here early on. It looks it looks like it at least.
Looks like Sunshine, Old Man Sunshine is now going to check the Angry Fish.
It's an actually good play to do this early on because it's one of those locations you tend to stay away from to like very late into a seed.
Yeah, usually until after you've gotten your flippers and mirror do you check Catfish, and you route it in with your Zora checks most of the time.
Only 10 arrows from the Angry Fish up here.
So, no value out of that check, but at least it's out of his way now.
So not really that many maps so far that can really tell us which dungeon we need to do. So we might see some gambles here with like Skullwoods and the Thieves Town, since both of them got items to complete both.
I'm also surprised they haven't chosen to gamble right over at... Oh, we saw Desert Palace as a red crystal.
Yeah, together with Tower
as
of Hera.
Tower of Hera. Can't get into either of those dungeons yet, unfortunately.
Can't do that yet, but that's really good information to have early on, since that rules out some dungeons we might don't want to do with pendants and all that.
And looks like Stumpy having a big piece of love there for Goomba. And Goomba's also gonna go around and check the digging game here. As we see Old Man Sunshine now headed towards, looks like Skull Woods. Yeah, Skull Woods is his play here.
It makes sense going into Skullwoods early on. We got everything we need to take care of it. If it's a pendant, it doesn't really matter that much. There might be some really good items in here.
Unfortunately, we can't hear the sound from his stream to know for sure if it's a pendant or not, but I'm sure he knows.
Well, the music is actually randomized as well, so we will not know if it's a pendant or crystal.
Oh, Old Man Sunshine gets the mirror. I didn't realize they randomized the music for these. Wow, that's actually...
Okay, so we got both items, two items from here. There is more items since the map and the compass are somewhere out in the wild.
But it looks like Old Man Sunshine's taking that mirror. Nope, he's going back. He's changed his mind. Realizing that, wait, the map and compass aren't necessarily here, so there's other stuff to get.
That his is actually a lot more items now, since I think that's two more items in here. So you never know what you will find out here.
Yep, and it looks like Goomba is coming through the Cac Village portal as well. We'll see if he goes to Skull Woods or if he goes to Thieves Town.
Looks like Goomba is going to do the exact same play as Old Man Sunshine did. It's going to get rewarded with that mirror.
That's not an insignificant reward. That actually gives them gives them a few more checks, but it's also just a really nice item for clearing dungeons because you can clear items and then just mirror out very quickly.
There's the big key at least.
And it looks like Sailor Nep is about to be rewarded with a mirror as well.
Yeah, well, pretty much all of the runners is in the exact same dungeon, so I think a lot of them want to do this really early on.
Alright, so we're going to see what's in the big chest as Goomba heads towards the back end. And that's a key, which I believe means that both Mothula and this chest in the back side have items in them.
Ooh, and it's the boots.
And I'm sure Goomba is very happy to see that.
This is a pretty loaded the Skull Woods mirror, and you get the boots, so that's a very good start here in the Dark World.
That's also just two really good movement and speed items.
I would say this is a pretty good location to find both mirror and boots. Can make them route in King's Tomb and the Graveyard Ledge really early on.
Absolutely, that's and those are checked. Especially the Graveyard Ledge is one of those checks that's just really weird to try and route in normally.
Yeah, it's one of those that you always like it. If you don't do it early on, if you don't have like the potential to do it early, it's one of those you will skip out for the longest time. What a beautiful fight from Goomba. Mothula giving him the perfect pattern to get in those hammer strikes on.
And gets just a little bit of love and a red pendant for his...
Red pendant, Skullwoods having boots and mirror. That's pretty huge.
And luckily for all the runners, they all went through Skullwoods, so they all at least got the mirror. I'm assuming Goomba's going to go back and get it, because I don't think he's picked it up yet.
Yeah, and Alma Sunshine unfortunately skipped those boots in the back of Skullwoods. And since when he finds the map for Skullwoods, I don't think he's going to go back there since it's a red pendant.
Yeah, that could actually cost him quite a lot of time here, not just from movement, but if something happens to be hidden behind those boots, such as at King's Tomb or Bonk Rocks.
And we also have that potential of Desert Palace being boots locked.
Which we do know is a red crystal as well, yeah.
Getting that sequence break from Moment Sunshine here is most likely going to go for Hera and East Death Mountain.
Absolutely, and getting just 20 rupees from the old man. So many people just giving up their life savings to random people today.
I don't think that's completely wise to do, but it's pretty funny. The old man on the mountain giving old man Sunshine.
We also saw a bow. Sorry to interrupt, but we got a bow in C-shaped house.
That puts Pod and Eastern in very good place to finish off.
Yes, and while logically they can't finish it, I'm sure these runners are quite versed in doing the Dark Room runs through both Eastern and Pod.
Yeah, and who knows, we might find the lamp in one of the dungeons.
We see Old Man Sunshine here headed into Tower of Hera, as we see Sailor Nep grabbing the Graveyard Ledge, and Goomba is in Thieves Town.
Old Man Sunshine picking up the first item in Tower of Hera. It's a fire shield. And a small key, so big key is vanilla today.
Never fun when you had to sit through this sequence.
Especially since the Hera pot clip is a thing now, and we don't have the equipment to do it.
I have yet to see that actually be done on a race. I've probably just missed it.
So we have a Master Sword in Thieves Town. So we're one step closer to be able to wrap up this race, since all of the runners wants Tempered Sword at least, but
Absolutely, especially if they don't find silvers, they're going to want that Tempered Sword. Silverless Master Ganon is not fun.
It's kind of brutal.
But Goomba making good use of those boots to get through the that conveyor room right there.
And that is pretty much one of the most dangerous rooms, especially if you're real low in health. It's not a fun room to do.
And Lin running out of magic there, trying to light the torches in back of Skull Woods.
There we go, we have a map to Misery Mire in Thieves Town.
Now what's going to be interesting is if Misery Mire is a pendant, it's very possible we won't need any medallions for the race.
Looks like Linlin is in a bit of an issue here. Very lone. Yeah, there's no way you can do it with that small map.
Yeah, you have to take out all those Gibdos with his fighter sword.
Hey, there's the last shield for, so we know where all the shields are in this race today.
I must have missed it. Where was the last shield? With blind, I assume?
Let's see, it's the chest there with the blind one.
Ah, okay.
And we have 300 rupees on Moldorm.
And our magic pun for the day is a baker's job is a piece of cake.
Down goes Mothula for Linlin, and Blind goes down for Goomba.
And they both get a small piece of heart there. You see Old Man Sunshine here taking the long walk through Spiral Cave. I'm sure he wishes he had boots right now. Little does he know he actually left them behind.
Yeah, and Meyer and Swamp Palace is actually Crystal Dungeons.
Oh, and Goomba's gonna check the bonk rocks here. While Old Man Sunshine checks Paradox Cave. And it looks like the bumper cave is just a compass, so I don't suspect we'll be seeing anyone get that.
Yeah, we will not get that one, so...
You know, we can see what's in the rest of Paradox here. Some blueberries, a bit of love, compass to Eastern. More blueberries, and a big 20. So Paradox was a whole lot of nope.
And not the best Paradox cave you've ever seen before.
At this point, especially for Old Man Sunshine, you have to consider where do you go next. Do you keep checking kind of... Oh, go ahead.
I think Old Man Sunshine might go for Thieves Town, and he just got the map for it.
True, he has not been into Thieves Town yet.
Old Man Sunshine really needs to go back to get those boots to be able to move along a little bit faster, but it's going to take so much longer for him to go back.
Yeah, what would really hurt is if he finds out that it's a pendant dungeon. I think that'll set him even further behind because he'll want to avoid going back there as much.
Yeah, it's going to be a last location of those boots, if those boots are actually needed.
I suspect we're about to see a Cave 45 check here from Sailor Nep as well.
It sure looks like it, and it looks like maybe Goomba is going to go for... It's going to go for Fake Flipper up here. There's a way to set it up. I don't really know how to explain it, but he's trying to set it up here.
Yep, and it looks like Cave 45 just giving off a little bit of bombs there as well. And giving up on his Fake Flipper there, unfortunately. It's an interesting trick. I've seen it done once or twice, but never quite figured out how to do it myself.
Almost Sunshine getting his bow, so that's at least one step closer to the right direction you need to go to the other dungeons, which got the crystals and all that.
Second glove on the man under the bridge. Now we know that is flipper locked, and they don't have flippers yet, so that is out of sequence. But that's a huge item for Lin Lin Lin.
It wouldn't surprise me if Lin Lin would head up to the mountain, but it might be that still might be waiting for that hook shot to show up. Since the mids are out of logic, so we're gonna see Goomba setting up a Fake Flipper here, and he did perfectly.
Well, that was interesting, and it looks like he's gonna get his glove here as well. First bottle, 5 rupees, and a whole heart in the back of Shish Kebab Hut.
And Sailor Nep is going to go for that pod/Eastern play now.
And Lin Lin about to trade 500 rupees for 20 because King Zora is a troll today.
One of the biggest scammers together with Kiki the monkey. Ooh, the stun price today is actually 20 rupees, so that's going to work fantastic for Goomba here to get his money for Kiki.
Yeah, he actually just passed that threshold because of that. And we see Sailor getting 300 rupees for the first item in Pod.
Pretty interesting that Sailor Nep got bow, but decides to go Eastern first.
Yeah, I mean, I could see him making this play if he didn't have bow, because it's very interesting.
Might probably clear out the whole dungeon before going into a pod, if this is a crystal dungeon or a pendant.
Well, we know it has to be a pendant. We just don't know which one. Oh wait, no, because Turtle Rock is a pendant and Skull Woods was a pendant, so it could be. So one of these two is going to be the pendant. One will be the crystal.
Yeah. And it's actually green pendant up on Turtle Rock, yeah. I totally forgot about that. So it's not one of those dungeons that will give in one more extra dungeon, extra item.
So we're not pulling a heart there in Eastern so far. Goomba's going to head into Pod, so we're going to see what's further back in Pod here.
So we're going to get new information from 2 dungeons now, Eastern Palace and Pod here.
And just some blueberries there in the dark room in the big key room of Eastern.
Yeah, not a lot of items here in Eastern Palace. Might be something on the boss here. Otherwise, pretty dry Eastern Palace.
Yeah, but the only thing that's going to make this play worthwhile now at this point for Sailor Nap is if the boss has progression or if it's a crystal. Chat is wanting silvers on Armos or lamp on Armos. Lamp on Armos would be hilarious.
I think we've just found the lamp here in Vanilla Big Chest, Big Key Chest here in Pod, I think.
Oh, lamp was in Pod. Okay.
So now this dungeon is completely in logic now, with the Dark Mason coming up. Oh, looks like Lin fell down in the middle hole up on the Molder fight.
That hurts. That hurts to fall down that one.
Okay,
and
it's blue
it looks
pendant.
like, yep, blue pendant in Eastern. So Eastern's a wash. There wasn't a whole lot in there.
Flippers in Pod.
Which that puts the second glove now in logic as well. And now we're going to get to see what's in Dark Maze.
Oh, there's the hook shot. Swamp Palace is now in play.
Yeah, that makes Pod absolutely worthwhile. We found, 3 progression items, plus we know it's a crystal.
Yeah, we got everything we need to go up to the mountain now in logic, so interesting location. Guma's going to head out to see if this is a pendant or a crystal.
Orange asking the question being, when do you do Swamp? Me personally, seeing the flippers and the hook shot coming out of one dungeon tells me I would personally get to Swamp as quickly as possible, also knowing that it's already a crystal. But I'm not a professional runner like these guys, so don't trust my logic.
I think they will do, Guma might go up, do hair run, all those checks up at Dark Death Mountain, and then take the decision if it's Ice Palace time or it's time for Swamp Palace. We need that flute and Cane of Sumaria, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we're not going to need... We don't need Ice Rod, since... At least we don't need Ice Rod for crystals, since TR is not a crystal. That's not to say we won't need it, but...
The Palace of Darkness just having all the progression here, it's quite insane.
Absolutely, as we looks like we're at the point now where everybody's kind of checking places everyone else has checked, so we've reached the kind of lull in new items at this point.
And at this point we can do like this, please follow these runners, they're putting on an amazing show for you guys.
Absolutely. Lin, Old Man Sunshine, Goomba, and Sailor Nep. Yeah, absolutely give them a follow, along with both of our trackers. Bot is broken. Yeah, both of our trackers, Red, I'm going to butcher this name, Red Arimer and Semper Fire. Semper Fire Dog, excuse me.
So for Sailor Nep is just missing out on those gloves. We'll get the gloves later on, but that's just what's splitting Goomba and Sailor Nep in amount of progression items.
Absolutely, we are. It's interesting. We're only 41 minutes.
Quake needed for Turtle Rock.
Opening up Turtle Rock, which, since you're there, might as well, kind of situation. Don't foresee, Lin can't get in, no Red Cane yet.
It might just be the inside of Hookshot Cave or inside of Super Bunny Cave.
It's very true, it could be. Question is, if you get it, do you go right into Turtle Rock? Because you know it's a pendant, granted it is the green pendant.
I guess it just depends on how far in you want to commit, but it's not a bad play if you do it, because you're still looking for some items.
Absolutely, and with the map shuffle, there's, I want to say, 8 items in Turtle Rock?
Yeah, that's about it. I'm not quite sure how many items there is normally. We might see Lin here try to set up, a hover here.
Because Lin does not have the hook shot yet.
Beautiful hover here. Getting 5 rupee.
And that is not an easy trick to do. As we see Goomba and Sailor Nep now finishing off their pod runs.
And Cookshot Cave is completely empty. There's nothing of value.
And let's see what the Helmasaur King has for us today. Yeah, those were beautiful hovers. First try on both hovers. That's... wow, 1 rupee. I guess with as loaded as the rest of it was, that's to be expected.
Spike Cave coming up for Lin. This is a completely new check for us. Just 300 rupees, so nothing important in Spike Cave.
Yep, the entirety of Dark Death Mountain is garbage. Unless you consider Turtle Rock part of Dark Death Mountain.
Looks like Sailor Nep is going to follow that hook shot, and the flipper is going right into Swamp Palace.
I was about to say the same thing, and that I think that's the right play here, because there are quite a few items inside Swamp Palace. And we know it has to be completed anyway.
There's going to be 8 items in here now, since there's since the map and compass is shuffled.
Bard, the reason 2 pendants were grabbed is Eastern and Pod weren't known whether they were pendants or crystals. So they did them just for completion's sake. Since map and compass shuffle are on. As for Swamp Palace, they did that because they didn't really have any...
Yeah, Skull Woods had so many items early on, boots and mirror, and there was like 4 items in total inside that dungeon, since maps and compasses are shuffled around. So they were looking for one more item, so they cleared out the entirety of Skull Woods.
And Goomba's going to be right on Sailor Nep's heels here, going for the Swamp Palace play as well. Lin Lin finally getting second sword here from Thieves Town.
Sailor Nep and Goomba is pretty much neck and neck here. The only thing keeping them away is that mids. Goomba is going to make that decision to go to Ice Palace a little bit faster.
Absolutely, but I don't see Sailor Nep far from getting the glove, considering that he's doing Swamp Palace, and doing your water checks aren't far from that in the light world.
I'm getting all the maps here, I think, in Swamp Palace so far. So at the moment we're just looking for Flute and the Cane of Samara right now. And of course a third sword would be super nice for our runners.
Absolutely. Yeah, because Flute will give them Desert Palace access through the mirror. And it will give them access to, I believe, yeah, that would be Go mode then.
So far, just Swamp Palace just giving us 2 maps so far. One for, well, I actually think it was Swamp Palace and Hera. Could have read them wrong completely.
And it's also possible, yeah, we do need another medallion for Misery Mire as well.
We've got powder on left side of Swamp Palace. So that powder could be huge, depending on what we find from the powder spot.
And then we got Big 20 and some blueberries underwater there at in Swamp Palace. And one of the least favorite places to see Big Key in Swamp Palace.
It's a pretty annoying spot to get the big key there. Like, normally you will go back in when you're done with Argus. There's no point in like going back in, especially if you skipped out on left side swamp.
Beautiful spin slashes here on Argus by Goomba.
Goomba's execution is just on another level today.
Wow, double fire rod and a sword spin from that. Beautiful execution by Goomba.
Gets
For 20
another
rupees.
big 20. We have seen so many big 20s today.
Absolutely orange. The whole thing, the double grabs into the spin was just beautiful by Goomba.
Looks like Goomba is actually skipping out on the checking left side swamp and the big chest. It could come back and haunt him if that powder on left side swamp is giving us the flute.
Or even possibly Red Cane right in there.
Yeah, that as well.
But it looks like he's deciding to go straight into... No, he's not going into Ice Palace.
Goomba couldn't check the checks here earlier because he couldn't set up the fake
That's
flipper,
right.
so...
Yeah, he couldn't get his fake flipper.
But it looks like it's going to just head straight back in here to, well, head back right into Ice Palace. So it's pretty good routing decisions here from Goomba.
Yeah, and a beautiful fight there from Sailor Nep as well.
Going to be interesting if Sailor Nep goes. Yeah, Sailor Nep goes back in for the big chest.
So we will see if Goomba made the right call by skipping that big chest.
Red mail from the blacksmith today, since Lin is going to do the checks we haven't seen so far. Ooh!
Flute and Ice Palace. That
Silver
is
arrows.
huge.
Silver arrows in Swamp Palace big chest.
Ooh, that could hurt Goomba quite badly depending on if he finds Tempered Sword or not.
I would say it was a huge gamble, but it paid off so far with the flute in Ice Palace, but we don't know where that King of Samaria is right now. Sailor Nep getting those mitts now from Hobo. Right, let's see, Sailor Nep heading into Ice Palace as well, so he's going to get that flute really quick here. Ooh, Cane of Samaria as well. We are in go mode, unless we need a different medallion for Meyer.
And I'm sure Goomba's happy to see that because, well, I guess not necessarily since he doesn't know what that pendant is yet. So he can't really just skip everything. But I'm guessing his next check is going to be right over to Misery Meyer to see if he can open it.
Nep is not going to be that far behind as well. Nep right now has the advantage of having silver arrows compared to... It's going to be Master Sword and silver arrows for Sailor Nep. Looks like it's just going to be Master Sword just right now for Goomba though.
Exactly. Schrodinger's go mode.
Beautiful fight from Goomba with the hammer.
Yep, and Goomba doing the save and quit. I'm guessing he's going to go to Sanctuary and go straight to activating that flute.
Pretty funny if you think about Goomba have not been to the mountain at all. So when he's going up the mountain, he's going to be able to do Hera, going to go straight into GT.
Yeah, he can let Hera be his last crystal now. Okay, and Nep opting to check right side of Ice Palace here.
Ooh, fetch quest. Got the mushroom. Not that it's required at all, because Serenep is going to get that item later on in Kingdom of Samaria.
It's interesting. Goomba did not check Sick Kid yet. He was right in town and chose not to check it.
Goomba did actually check Sick.
Oh, did he? I must have missed it. My apologies. Oh, he had bombs. Okay. And it looks like we need Bombos to get into Misery.
So we're on that hunt for Bombus Medallion now. It could be anywhere right now. We do know that pretty much all of the mountain is just garbage.
Yep, and Goomba's going straight into Desert after getting that half magic, which he can fully clear easily. So he may find what he's looking for right here. And yes, Pet is still alive. It's just on life support. It could be Bombos. And it is boots locked, which means Old Man Sunshine without his boots is going to have a really tough time. He's going to have to try and backtrack on himself later and find those boots.
Yeah, sadly, that is not going to work out for Old Man Sunshine at all. He got so many checks before even going back to Skull Woods. Ice Rod in Desert Palace.
That could be a big difference maker right there as well, because if Bombos is in TR, they might need that to get it, because it could be on Trinex. Ice Rod is one of those items I never like to see, because especially on a pendant TR.
We don't have that many checks to do right after Desert Palace here, so Turner Rock looks good to me right now. Serenip, of course, got a little bit of advantage of getting that mushroom and powder, so it could be on one of the locations.
Yes, it could absolutely be on one of those locations. And Goomba did not get mushroom because that was in right side Ice Palace.
Beautiful fire rod strats there on Lanmolas from Goomba.
Yes, very very nice fire rods. That half magic coming in a little handy there for him. And we're also going to see what's in Big Chest here in Desert Palace.
Could it be Bombos, or do we need to go on a wild hunt here for that Bombos medallion?
It's just more rupees.
It sure looks like we're on the hunt here for Bombos. We're going to get one more check here from Goomba. Checkerboard Cave. Well, it wasn't bombs.
Not bombos.
Yeah.
I guess that's 2/3 of bombos.
Goomba's going to fill up that bottle with potion because I think this is going to be a true rock play from Goomba.
Absolutely, and like you said, I don't think it's a bad choice to go straight into Turtle Rock here. There are a lot of items in there.
I mean, if it's not in there, we will have a third pendant, so it could potentially be on that pedestal that chat always loves.
Yep, or even on Shahasrala.
At 1 hour 2 minutes, we're going to see Goomba doing Paradox Cave.
So, yeah, oh, red mail. Where was second mail? Armor Smiths. Goomba's hoping to. I'm pretty sure Goomba's hoping to save Hera for his last crystal, so he can just set up his portal right outside and just warp right over to Ganon's tower.
So what we're waiting for now is just to see where is that Bombos medallion.
Yeah, I honestly, I think it's going to be in TR, just by sheer volume of items.
It feels like it's going to be something like that, because there's, like you're saying, there's so many items, so it feels like it's logical. Like by logic, it will be in there, but we have so many fetch quest items right now that we haven't seen yet. It feels like it could be there as well.
That'd be very interesting if it was on, yeah, like Mushroom or Magic Bat, because that would actually hurt Goomba quite a bit because he skipped both of those items.
Yeah, he doesn't have the opportunity to even fake powder at this point, so it's going to hurt if it's on one of those. Looks like actually Goomba is going to clear out Tower of Hera first. Don't want to take that gamble to go into Turtle Rock right now.
Beautiful silver arrows there by Sailor Nep to clear out Lanmolas.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting to see from Sailor Nep as well. Nep have not been up to the mountain yet, so will Nep go to the mountain or will not? There's one good thing clearing out Terra right now. We have access to Pyramid Fairy, so that's 2 more items.
That's very true.
Lin taking down Armist Knights, getting that blue pendant.
Going for the pot skip here. And gets it. Beautiful play by Goomba. He says, I don't need no big key for this.
Sad part is that he will not get that big key, and I'm pretty sure the item is going to be in the big chest, if I remember it correctly. Well, one of them. So he will not know what's in there in the big chest. Oof. Moldorm taking down Goomba 1-0 to Trolldorm.
Ooh, and he drops down to another one, too, from that fire bar.
Old Man Sunshine taking down Argus, getting another crystal.
And he's going back in to get his silvers, it looks like.
₹300 and Goomba is done with Trolldorm. We still looking for that Bombos, but we got Pyramid Fairy open for Goomba.
Yep, and it looks like Nep is gonna do the mountain checks here. And Goomba is headed towards back to his portal, probably to TR. Yeah.
Yeah, this Turok play from Goomba.
Yes, the fairy crystals were Tower of Hera and Desert Palace.
I would say the odds for Bombos being in Turok is pretty high, and plus the fact that we will most likely find another sword in here, since we have like 7 items plus Mimic Cave.
I believe it's 9 items, isn't it, in Turtle Rock with Map Shuffle?
I think there's like 5 items normally, and take out the map and the compass, it's 7.
Oh, it is only 5.
So
okay, yep, you're right. It's only 5. Plus we but again, this also does open up Pendant and Mimic Cave, so.
And Pedestal.
And Pedestal, yeah.
So going to Turtle at this point is very, like, it's just opens up so many places at one time. It's just better to just clear out this dungeon.
Absolutely. Yeah, because with a total of 10 items through the entire thing, I mean, you're not going to find better value than that.
It's like when Goomba did and Serenep just went to Swamp House immediately. It's just so many items at one place you can find. It just makes sense. Oh my Sunshine finding those mids on the Hobo was not really happy with that location. A few rage slashes.
Hasn't that Hobo been through enough? Leave Hobo alone. And looks like Nep is headed into TR.
Yeah, Nep is doing the play of TR before even entering Tower Fair. Really wants to keep Hera before going into GT.
Yep, and if Bombos is in here, that
If Bombs is in here, it's just going to make it so much easier to... Well, it's going to make it so much faster because you don't even need to think about going Hera first and then going back to Turok. So just doing this makes so much more sense, I guess.
oh, absolutely, yeah.
And I guess Nep is also in that position right now, that Nep is really comfortable with Master Sword plus those silver arrows, so just trying to just ignore another sword maybe. Nice hover from Goomba here.
Beautiful swag hover there by Goomba.
So Mimic Cave here, and there's not that many items left inside of Turbo. There's Bombos, we're in go mode.
Bombos. Now the question is, okay, he's opting not to keep going in Turtle Rock, hoping he'll find a sword probably in GT.
He's going to try and find another sword, but Goomba is so skilled at this game that he doesn't need another sword. But it will be so much quicker to just get like a tempered sword right now. Can't get silvers because that is in Swamp Palace. But Bombos and Mimic Cave is just one cruel spot to put for our runners.
Absolutely. We are going to get to start seeing some Misery Mire checks here. But yeah, I agree with you, Chad. If he finds a God Key, he's probably just going to take it.
If this is a Godmire, he's going to go straight to...
Speaking of Godmire.
Yeah. I think he's going to try and hover this gap. Or not, because...
Yeah, he made one attempt. He was like, I might as well try since I'm right here. But now he's going straight ahead to the boss.
Goomba will have a little bit of an advantage on Sailor Nep here. Going to clear out, of course, before Nep even gets into Mire, but he already cleared out Hera, but it just comes down to execution, and Goomba feels like pretty good at that.
True. The silver arrows are going to help both on Vitreous and on Ganon, but it'll be a toss-up if that's going to be enough to make the difference.
Linlin just got that good old flute here, so one step closer to that go mode.
And we're really seeing the difficulty here of Old Man Sunshine as well, not ending up not getting those boots. As you can see, he's missing quite a few items that the other runners have, just from the sheer movement speed of it.
Yeah, and also the fact that Old Man Sunshine have not been into Ice Palace at all, so haven't got that flute yet. So for Old Man Sunshine, he's still lacking that information about boots for Desert Palace. Beautiful execution here from Goomba on Vitreous. Just beautiful.
Absolutely, putting that cape to great use.
That's Goomba's 7th crystal, and Kios, I think do you want to play a game with us?
I love to play games. What game should we play?
I think we should play that one game that we let people guess a number between 1 and 22 for a big key in GT. I think that's correct, right?
I think that sounds about right. What do you think, chat?
I see a lot of numbers here. Where do you think it will be, Kios?
I'm going to guess it's going to end up being pretty late because of the placement of some of these other items. I'm going to say 17.
17, that's a good number. I would go Tile Rooms at number 22.
Actually, a while ago I commentated a race where I guessed 22 because of Tile Room, and it ended up being Tile Room, but 3.
Yeah, yeah. These crazy runners going for Tile Room so early.
I know, who does that?
Beautiful hammer strats here for Lin. It's not easy with the hitbox from the hammer to actually hit your enemy.
Yeah, and Cold Stare's movements don't make it any easier.
And especially with that ice dropping down from the ceiling as well. It just makes it so much painful.
Watch GT Big Key be boots locked. Well, luckily, since they have to have boots to finish Desert, that wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, the biggest problem just right now is for Almond Sunshine to just find those boots, because he will not go to the back of Skullwoods for the longest time.
Nep just absolutely decimating Vitreous with those silver arrows. And 2 so far, no big key.
Almond Sunshine getting that flute, and Lin activating the flute right now.
And Nep just stocking up on a potion here before heading into Tower of Hera and then GT. And we see Goomba checking all of right side. This is a strat I've seen more and more happening of people checking the entire right.
I think it just makes it a lot more easier to do it like that. If you get a small key early on, you just go right side.
For 5
there's the big
is
key.
our big chest. So who is our winner? Indigestes, it looks like, was the first one to pick 5. So Indigestes, it looks like you win 1,000,000 internet points today for getting it right.
So with an early big key like this, I mean, Net sure has an advantage of some stuff, but at this point, this is Goomba's race to lose, because he will be pretty much at Molder 2 when Sailor Nep enters GT.
Absolutely. So unless he has a rough Ganon fight or a rough Trolldorm 2 fight, this really is Goomba's race to take away here. And apparently Semper gave Indigestes a lifetime supply of ALTTP Rando seeds as well. That's an amazing prize.
Well, hopefully a little bit nicer seed than this one. That Bombos location is just awful.
You know, besides the Bombos location, it hasn't been too terrible.
It's been pretty linear this seed. You go to the place that has the most items, more or less. Maybe the myths, because we saw some frustration from Old Man Sunshine with the Smith location.
That's true. Yeah, that was kind of a trolley second myth location too. And we saw Nep doing the pot as well. Yep, cleaning that out.
Down goes Moldorn, so pretty much Goomba will pretty much be at Moldorn too, so it just comes down to execution at this point, why Goomba pull ahead, and that's just doing Hera before entering GT as well, and skipping out on that right side of Ice Palace.
True, but we also have to consider that Sailor Nep does still have silvers, and they're both running Master Sword Ganon, and Master Sword Ganon isn't exactly the fastest fight in the world.
Yeah, but Sailor Nep is going left side, unfortunately.
Ooh, that's gonna hurt so bad.
Beautiful Mola's fight on Linlin's screen. I think that was like one cycle. There's Ether Medallion. Down goes Moldorn 2.
If this is a sword, it is not.
So now comes a decision for Linlin. It's going to take that decision if you Turok or... it must be the Turok at this point for Lin. Have done everything else at this point.
2 triples to wipe out Aga 2 very quickly.
Goomba's execution today has just been on a different level. Just amazing.
I wish I could execute half as well as he does right now. Nep is going to be very unhappy when he finds the big key location here.
We're getting magic bats here from Linlin. We've got some fetch quests. I've almost forgot about all the fetch quest items. Ooh, Goomba's using that King of Smarts right here to get those Master Sword spins.
That's an interesting trick. I've never seen that before. That's pretty cool.
But this one is going to save you so much time with doing all the stuff you do, taking care of the different phases here of Ganon if you're on Master Sword.
Okay, Ganon, that's enough teleporting.
Yeah, those teleports here, he's not giving us a good pattern here, and unfortunately for Old Man Sunshine, he realizes now he still needs the boots. Gets a torch glitch here, which is very important when you only have the Master Sword to get it. Setting up those triple spins here.
Yeah, Serverless Ganon is not an easy trick. The timing on it is really, really, really narrow for when you can hit him.
Ooh, look at this. Old Man Sunshine going to the back of Skullwoods now. We'll get those boots.
And now another game. How many Rage Slashes will Old Man Sunshine give those boots?
I think that will be a few.
One Rage Bomb, 3 slashes, 4 slashes, 6 slashes, 79 slashes. Rage Quake. Wow, no Rage Slashes. I thought for sure we were going to see some there. And that is a Silverless Ganon for Goomba.
To get your GGs in chat for Goomba. Goomba will just cross that. And he does it, and Goomba finishes as first on the restream, and he's also the first time finisher in this race. 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 9 seconds from Goomba.
GG's to Goomba. That was some really good execution.
And we are joined by Goomba. GG's.
Hey, GG.
GG Goomba, very well done. Congrats on the first place finish.
Thank you.
How did that feel, Goomba, this whole seed?
I don't know, it felt pretty straightforward to me. Like, obviously under normal circumstances, having 2 progression items in Ice Palace is a little bit strange, but when it has 5 items instead of 3, it's not so weird.
And how did you feel about the 3 progression items in Pod as well?
That was a little bit ridiculous, but I mean, it was kind of to be expected at that point. Like, I didn't have much left in logic, and I mean, in these settings, Palace of Darkness has 7 items, so it's bound to have something, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
What did you think about that Bombos location?
I mean, it was pretty much exactly where I expected it to be. So the answer's always pen and Turtle Rock, right?
Yeah, even if Turtle Rock's a crystal, the answer is still Pendant Turtle Rock.
Exactly. Now you're getting it. I don't know.
Pedestal.
The only thing I really feel bad about my route is doing Eastern Palace, but I figured at that point it was a 50-50 between Eastern and Palace of Darkness for which one was the last pendant, so I figured I'd get the 5 items out of Eastern Palace, and if that was the crystal, I would skip Helmasaur King. But obviously, Eastern was the pendant, so I had to kill Helmasaur King anyway.
Well, to make you feel better, everyone on Restream did Eastern Palace.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's hard to resist, right, when it has 5 items, it's so quick.
Yeah, you didn't really lose out that much time, just doing all that stuff and getting a sub 130, so it was an amazing run.
Yeah, I mean, again, aside from Eastern Palace, I think I pretty much nailed it. Didn't really do anything else unnecessary.
Swamp was an interesting experience too, because it was one of those dungeons like you never really like going to Swamp, but especially when it's not even a green pendant. But we had 2 progression items in there.
Swamp's an interesting dungeon in these settings, because on the one hand, left side
Or
Swamp
excuse me, not
always
Swamp,
has...
Skull. I'm sorry,
Oh,
Skull Woods.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, I couldn't really resist. Like, you give me that fire rod, I have no idea what the pendants or crystals are. You kind of just gotta go for it, I think.
Absolutely.
Yes. Swamp Palace, I think, is actually really interesting in these settings. Because on the one hand, left side Swamp always has 2 items. But on the other hand, even if you skip left side Swamp, you still get 6 items out of the deal. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, the only thing that what was the Swamp Palace had was the powder on the left side and also that the silver arrows in the big chest.
Yeah, so Ganon told me I kind of would have liked those, but I mean, didn't end up really costing me.
Now you showed off that King of Samaria trick with and the Master Sword spins, which was like not often you'd see it at all.
Yeah, I didn't really do it optimally either, but it was good enough. Sped up the fight by a couple cycles.
Yeah, doing that silverless Ganon fight with Master Sword could not have been. I'm guessing that wasn't exactly your first choice.
I mean, no. But I wasn't about to go looking for a sword.
Yeah.
Like, I did a few very quick on-the-way checks for a sword, but I wasn't going to go out of my way for it. The fight's not that bad, it's just slow.
And as we see here,
Sailor Nap just finished a big GG Sailor Nap, finishing with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 33 minutes, and 39 seconds. Gets that 2nd place finish overall. So we do know where Tempered Sword is. Apparently, the Tempered Sword is on the mushroom that you left behind in Ice Palace.
Yeah, I didn't really... I figured there wasn't much point in me clearing Ice Palace, because I had already gotten 2 items out of it, and I was maybe in go mode if Misery Mire was just Quake. So, I just killed Cold Stare and said, screw it, that's good enough.
And we are joined by Sailor Nap. GG's.
Thanks, and GG to Goomba. That's it's a real impressive time.
GG did.
So, how did you feel about this seed today?
I never know how to feel about this particular mode. I usually had this bad problem of forgetting to count the items properly. This time I did not mess that up. So at least there was that. I felt real great about getting the boots early. I was glad that I just decided to go into Skullwoods and not worry about it. So dashing through Thieves Town, if nothing else, that was great. I was a little worried when that Bombos medallion was needed. But I made the right play going into TR and not full clearing all the places off the mountain. The only thing that felt real bad for me is I felt kind of priced in item-wise to do Left Side Swamp, and that didn't end up being anything.
Yeah. I figured I would just emphasize clearing dungeons as much as possible, because when they have 2 extra items, they become really valuable. And that definitely paid off in this seed. Like, most of the progression was just in dungeons, so...
Yeah, if anything, I think I was a little too thorough with Overworld. But even then, I at least committed to the TR play. I figured if I go up there and I see a Quake medallion, I'm just going in.
Yeah. Same, more or less.
You two were real close together throughout the whole race, more or less. It just came down to that Goomba skipped left side Swamp and the right side of Ice Palace, more or less.
Yeah. At least I didn't waste time turning in that mushroom. Who knows? Maybe I would have gotten a sword or something.
Yeah, it was a sword.
Oh, it really was? Oh, that's funny.
Sword would have been nice, or silvers, or anything to make the Ganon fight not take 4 minutes.
Oh yeah, see there, the silvers were in the big chest of Swamp Palace, so at least I got something
Yeah.
out of that full clear.
So Ganon told me, I decided to just leave the 3 items in Swamp and go to Ice Palace.
Yeah,
So I also
leaving-
hadn't touched Death Mountain at that point, so I had a lot left. So I figured I was probably safe leaving 3 items in Swamp.
Yeah, and of course, Death Mountain was so valuable in this seed, both light and dark.
Turtle Rock had my Go Mode item, as usual. That's pretty good. I don't know.
Right, so was
I don't
there
think there's-
anything else you wanted to say, Goomba or Nep, in regards to the seed or the race today, about how you felt about it or anything like that?
I don't know. This mode's an interesting twist on things. Certainly makes dungeons more valuable, which I mean, that's what I played towards in this race, and it definitely paid off. The only thing that didn't really pay off in that regard was Eastern Palace, which was completely useless, but... yeah, I don't know.
I don't have too much to add. I'm just glad that the boots showed up early, because walking around in a seed like that, I think that would have felt really grating, but it made it fun.
Yeah, it would be. It was very grating to go without to be going without boots for that.
Got Lin here in GT. Going to get that big key in just a few seconds, so it's going to be a quick check here of GT.
And it looks like Old Man Sunshine is headed to TR to try and find his Bombos medallion now.
Old Man did all those extra overworld checks when he got the boots. Unfortunately, getting those late boots is not what Old Man wanted.
Alright, I think I'm gonna hop on out of here now, so... Again, I want to thank you for having me here on the restream. It's always a pleasure to play some randomizer for your entertainment, and of course I want to thank the commentators and trackers. Would not be the same without you. And
Well,
of course, thank you to the viewers as well.
GG Scuba.
So yeah, see you next time for more rando, I guess.
Absolutely, GG Goomba.
We got Omen Sunshine here in Turtle Rock. We have Lin on his climb. So Lin has the pleasure of silver arrows. So it's going to be as quick, I would say, as Nep. We do have another finisher here in the race. Illis24 finishing in third place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 39 minutes and 47 seconds.
So close on that first cycle, Land Molus 2 with those silvers.
Having those silvers and just not using any magic at all is going to be so helpful here.
That is one of the most satisfying rooms in the game right there, where you can just Samaria 3 of those creatures, 3 of those Wizrobes, and then 1 swing of your sword to clear that room.
Yeah, that is the best room in the whole entire game.
Which is nice considering you have to go through rooms like, oh, I don't know, Mothula's room, which is the exact opposite of the best room in the game.
Yeah, that or the chain jump room in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that's another not so wonderful room.
And getting that ether medallion as well. Still looking for that another source. It's pretty funny to see, like, where could that last one be that we never found.
And Linlin deciding that Trolldorm 2 just isn't worth his time.
Just another beautiful hover from Linlin. A double hit here on Aga.
And a second double. Four cycles for Linlin to clear up Aga 2. And Linlin also using that Canis Samaria strat. Beautiful positioning there for Linlin on that on those spins for Ganon. And good night, Ganon, for Linlin. Get GG's in chat for Linlin's finish of Ganon there.
beautiful execution of Lin. Lin coming in as a third place on the restream, fourth place overall with a 1 hour 46 minutes and 59 seconds. GG's to Lin. And we're joined by Lin. GG's.
GG's.
So you don't sound that happy with this seed.
I'm just tired, that's it. I mean, like, I realized that each turn was my last pendant when I was inside of it, but since I was inside, I was like, yeah, might as well.
Yeah, why not? What do you think otherwise? It was not that bad until that Bombos medallion.
I mean, the thing is, I had some unfortunate events in Skullwoods, so I felt I needed to do something, and that's why I went to the mountain, because if there's something that I can gain an advantage on my opponents, it's hovering Hotel Cave.
Yes, those hovers were amazing.
That's the only reason I went out there. Like, after being kind of late to the mids, doing bad in Skullwoods, basically, I felt I had to do something, so I just went up there. Which made me not go back until the very end. That's the thing.
Yeah, that makes sense that you didn't go back to it, doing all those checks that you did. Really, I think you were like, I'm pretty sure you were the first runner-up on the mountain. So that makes sense that you did so early, and if that make you feel good, all of our runners found that real late, that Bombos medallion. So it was not only you that found it super late, because Mimic Cave of all places.
I was kind of trying some route as well. Like, especially with Splash Deletion, when I get an early Boomerang though, or Cane of Samoria, I tend to just route from Mini Mortem Cave to Desert. And then that's why I left Ice Shard Cave and the fake flipper stuff. But after finding the mirror and the boots, like, the route was pretty much it drowned itself. Like, I have to check those boot spot, Crevice Ledge, and then there's a whirlpool that takes me to Ice Shard Cave, and then I can water walk to Zoro. I actually like that route. The first time I was trying it, and that was actually pretty nice.
Yeah, your routing, like you just mentioned, was like this really interesting routing from Lin. Like, I've not seen that kind of routing before, so I was like, this could pay out big if there was something at those places.
But yeah, it wasn't that bad. Obviously, I just decided to have a different route than usual. Tried some stuff. Like, it's merely some practice for the group stages that are coming. So I'm just trying some stuff. I mean, obviously, showing a little bit that I can hover just a little bit, so people kind of fear some modes against me. Other than that, yeah, I'm just practicing for the upcoming group stages.
I mean, it's pretty good to do that stuff in just a daily race, just practicing stuff out, see if it works out, because a lot of runners are doing this as well. So.
I'm actually surprised I'm fourth. It wasn't a big daily, but still, like, with all the things I did, like, I literally cleared the whole overworld, I still managed to do fourth, so I guess it's not that bad.
I think it comes down to maybe as the people, not remembering that we just pull out the maps and compasses that makes more dungeons more like required to do.
The only issue I had with that was going in Eastern. I just realized inside, and I'm like, that's actually my last pendant. Why did I go in? That's it.
Well, if that makes you happy, everybody did Eastern Palace today.
And like when I was inside Swamp, like I first of all I thought about going to Ice before going to Swamp, and when I was inside Swamp, I actually only had Ice Palace left with all the overworld I did, so it was 3 items left in Swamp Palace and 5 in Ice. So I kind of felt the need to do left side at this point. It's really hard. Like 3 against 5. That's it. Like I have nothing else left aside from Seked, I think. So yeah, that's also the reason I went to left side Swamp.
Did you do right side of Ice Palace?
No,
Or
like,
you? Yeah,
first
okay.
first item flew, second item Kane. I just left. At this point, like, so it opened so much. There was a possibility I was in go mode as well, so I just left. Like at this point.
The only reason why I asked is because we actually know where Tempered Sword is, and it was on the mushroom that was on the right side of Ice Palace.
Ew. Like I read in chat that the last one was in Tether Rock, in Crystal Roller.
Ugh.
So yeah, there's not really no reason to go further, in my opinion.
Not if you already got everything you need to clear out the
The
game.
only item I can see people having trouble with is boots, basically. That's it. Other than that, yeah.
And that is why Old Man Sunshine is a little bit behind here on Restream. He forgot about. He actually never went to the backside of Skullwoods until very late.
That's quite a big gamble to do an MCS, in my opinion. Like, even if you don't know if it's Spanning or a Crystal, I think you still should clear that one if you can, especially that early into the seed. Like, we had a pretty quick Dark World access. Yeah.
I think you were in the Dark World of like 15 minutes into the seed, and you could already clear out Skullwoods of like 20 minutes. So it was a really.
The bow was just sitting in C-shaped towers, and then you could clear Eastern and Bot already. Like, that's already 4 dungeons. Like you can't just say, hey, I don't think you can just say, yeah, I'm skipping that because I don't know what it is. At this point, when you have little information, I think I didn't go to Saha. I think we had like a few maps like T-Town and Misery Mire, if I remember correctly. Oh no, Ice Palace. Swamp and Misery Mire we got a bit later, but yeah. I mean,
So do you like this game mode, by the way?
Hard to say. It switched, like, I mean, I've been on Restream already. Last one time it was played last week. It switches some dungeon importance. Like Ice Palace is actually more attractive now, or Misery Mire is also more attractive, even though I couldn't get in. While Hera is already bad, like only 2 items, but now it has 4, and there's a high chance there's one in the basement. And I'm not talking about Swamp. Swamp is just horrible in this mode. I'm thinking again, like I should have gone to Ice before going to Swamp. I think Ice is a better play than Swamp in this mode.
I think it's just one of those you have to take. You just need to commit, and I think everybody else went. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody went to Swamp Palace before Ice Palace. Goomba skipped left side. Citernep went left side. So I think it's just a complete gamble at that point. Sure, we were missing some items, but just Ice Palace having both Kane and the flute. Like, what are the odds for that?
Thing is, the only reason I chose I did it that way is just the round's pretty nice. Like, you can't go from swamp to ice pretty easily, but the opposite is not true, especially when you don't have a flute. So you kind of have to route like this.
I was going to say that those hovers you did throughout the whole entire race was just so clean. It's just crazy to see them. Like the one you did in Hookshot Cave is just like mind blowing.
I practiced a lot. I think the hardest one I did today was probably Meyer. It was the longest one.
Oh, you did a Meyer. Oh, I completely missed out on that one.
Yeah, the Bicky was on the bridge, so I just did it. And
my personal favorite was the Trolldorm 2 hover. He's like, "Hi Trolldorm, bye Trolldorm."
I hate Moldorm too, especially when I have a Master Sword. So if I have a Master Sword, I would tend to skip Moldorm. Even though there's a chance there's a sword in the validation chest, I would tend to skip it. It's just not very efficient. I'm actually surprised All Mine Sunshine has the mirror shield. Like, when I saw it in Hera, I was like, nope, not getting that today. But I guess some people feel more comfortable with it.
I think for Almond Sunshine, it became that he got it because I think the other shield was in like Thieves Town's maiden chest, right?
Yes. Or, no, it was in one of the first 4 chests.
Okay, so he just got it from out of nowhere. He picked it up in one of the shields in Hera and just ended up with Mirror Shield.
And that's the reason I don't like Moblin too, with Master Sword.
But down goes Moldorm. Linlin, do you have any final thoughts about the seed overall?
I mean, like I said, it's practice for the main tournament for most of the people that. I mean, some people just run the daily, but for me, it was a practice. I will practice more, but yeah, it wasn't that bad of a seed. I just routed that pretty badly.
I feel like you were actually routing pretty well. I think it just came down to those small things you did that cost a little bit more time, maybe.
I did
going up the mountain early.
Yeah, going up to the mountain really was a way to kind of redeem myself from all the what happened on Motala. But yeah, I don't think I would have done that play so early if nothing happened.
Okay, so Omen Sunshine is just about to fall down here to Ganon fight. Should be pretty quick as well.
Yeah, he's also packing silver arrows, so he shouldn't have too much trouble with the last phase.
Gotta say this, just do Master Sword spins on Gan is just so...
Obnoxiously slow.
Yeah. But he makes it out from that phase, so we're about to see those 0 hours just burst through Ganon.
After the, I believe it was like 9 teleports.
Yeah, he's teleporting way too much.
Exactly, Ganon Plez.
Getting that torch glitch. There we go. Last 0 hour down for Old Man Sunshine. Get your GGs in chat for Old Man. Old Man Sunshine crossing that bridge, finishing 4th on the restream with a official SRL time of 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 45 seconds, finishing it with 8th place overall. We had P-Train coming in 5th place. We had I Am the Shorts in 6th place. I Eat Flowers in 7th place, and Boss Godfrey at 9th place.
And it sounds like we are now joined by Old Man Sunshine. So, GG, Old Man Sunshine.
GG's.
GG's. How did you feel about this one?
It was a slog, and apparently I picked all the wrong places to go. So
I was gonna say those boots.
yeah, that wasn't too bad. It was the mitts on frickin' Hobo that I didn't like too much, because anyone who fake flippered already had them.
Yeah, they weren't in a wonderful place either. And then Bombos medallion, of course.
Yeah, well, at least I wasn't wrong in just completing Ice Palace right after I got Kane.
Yeah, that did help.
I didn't do too bad. I just apparently picked all the wrong places to check.
So when you decided to not check the back of Skull Woods, what went through your mind taking that decision?
At the time, I only had a few hearts and I think the fighter's swords, so I was thinking if I'm going to go back there, I want to do Moth, so I said, let's do that later, and then I just kept getting distracted.
So the logic, for the most part, was pretty straightforward, and it just kept kind of pushing you on, and then you kind of ran into, like, Desert Palace, and Desert's like, oh, you didn't get those boots?
Yeah. It's you make your decisions, and, if it's where you skipped, then oops.
Yep, there's always next race.
Yeah, the term is getting randoed.
That is a good term.
I just have to say, when you did all those rage slashes at Toby, it made me giggle a little bit. It was so fun to see those. I was like, yeah, he's not happy about that.
And then finding the ice rod, I went, oh no, are you kidding? Although it did push me to TR, which helped, so...
I was kind of we were talking about how many raid slashes you would do when you found those boots, but you didn't give us anything, so we were like, oh, okay, he's completely okay with this, okay.
That one I wasn't too worried about. Like I said, I I said, no, I don't have everything to beat Moth, so I'm going to skip this for later. So I could live with that. In fact, I was kind of happy to find the boots as quickly as I did. So
That was pretty good that you did the back of Skull Woods before you went and did all those fetch quest stuff. You started
Yep.
like we were like a little bit worried there for a second.
still ended up doing them, but then I went to Turtle Rock, and that made everything okay.
Yeah, Old Man Sunshine, do you have any final thoughts about this kind of, I don't know what to call this here, but
Hopefully, I can avoid getting randoed next race, but otherwise, GG's to everyone, and thanks for the restream and commentary and tracking.
well, GG's Old Man Sunshine for pushing it through and finishing this one.
Yeah, absolutely. GG.
And I think that pretty much wraps everything up here. Kios, do you have anything to say for our lovely crowd?
May you not get randoed in your next race.
Seems legit. But I think that's just sums up everything. And my name was Nilson Alex 92, and my co-commentator was Kios Gaming. Our trackers was Red Armir and Semper Firedog. And just have a good evening, and until next time.
Good evening, everyone.